Hi there, Frontline Church family and friends. Today we are in Titus chapter 3 verse 3 through to the end of the book, the end of the chapter. The Apostle Paul is writing to one of his church leaders, someone he led to the Lord and raised up, and it's all about how to live holy lives in the light of the holiness that has been gifted to us through the work of Jesus. And remember, the Bible affirms two truths about holiness. We are holy, that's our status, and we are being made holy, that's our state. And that idea flows all the way through the Bible, even through the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, it is election first, covenant first. God chooses Abraham, God chooses Israel and redeems Israel and rescues Israel out of Egypt. And then the laws are given. So all these rules and laws that we read about in the Bible, they're not to earn salvation. They're all about how we live in community as God's saved people, as God's holy chosen people. They're not about how to achieve holiness. It's gifted to us. It's our true identity. And that was very much the dynamic in yesterday's reading. Hopefully you read that. As it goes into today's reading, Paul has been saying to Titus, call the people to live in a godly way. Not to slander, not to gossip, not to steal, to have integrity. To live as the people that they really are. To live in their real identity as the holy people of God. Today's passage, I just love it. It beautifully unpacks that gospel message of what Jesus has already done for us through the cross. The kindness of God, the love of God towards us in sending his son for us. Salvation not based on anything that we could have done. Salvation not on our works, not on our efforts, but it says based on his mercy, on his grace. And how it goes on to talk about how he has washed us and renewed us, cleansed us, how he justified us. Remember back when we were studying Romans, we talked about that word justified, a legal word, a courtroom word. It means being declared not guilty. The judge says you are not guilty. We have been justified. It says we've been given this eternal hope, this eternal life as heirs. It is just wonderful, isn't it? It's just mind-blowing what God has done for us. And Paul says, verse 8, he says, I'm reminding you of all of this so that you will devote yourselves to doing good. By reminding ourselves of the gospel, or gospeling ourselves, we are provoked and empowered to live according to our true identity, our true status, to bring our state into line with our status as God's holy people. Well, it's a reflex, isn't it? If you're poked in the eye, you will blink. If you preach the gospel to your soul, as Paul preaches it to us in today's reading, you will reflex by walking in the light, that highway of holiness. Verse 9, Paul says, avoid foolish controversies, genealogies, arguments and quarrels about the law. Verse 10, warn a divisive person and then have nothing to do with them. That word divisive, the Greek word is where we get the word heretic from, but actually what it means is a factious person. A person who breaks away and goes off and does their own separate thing and invites people into it, causing a split. That is what that word means. And I don't know, I was just imagining today, trying to imagine the Apostle Paul scrolling through Facebook, looking at what Christians have posted on other people's timelines and in their comments, the arguments, that sense of superiority and knowing best, the quarrels, the divisiveness. I wonder what he would have to say about all of that. And I think the book of Titus really speaks into all of that because it places how we live as Christians in the world, it places how we live with our witness to the world. We are God's holy people. Let's live like it. Let's speak like it. Let's post like it. And let's model the grace and mercy of Jesus to this world around us. Amen.